lots of people have commented, so I thought I'd better fill people in on that because, right, we actually technically broke up in at the end of 2018 when I moved in here. We didn't have any particular big falling out, but I had known for quite some time that it would be best if I did not live with him. I was very fond of him, but he was not an easy man. And yeah, it just suffice it to say, and I was in fact much happier not living with him. We obviously didn't lose contact. I would have said that when we did part the ways, I was hoping that some of his behaviour would modify, because we had at that point been living together 30 years, and it would have been nice to feel that he could modify his behaviour and we could have moved, but it didn't happen. And then about 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago now, he got ill. I mean, I would go around and see him quite regularly. It wasn't that I wasn't seeing him. I'd go around and see him, we'd sit and chat and talk and that. But, we got on, well, I don't know, I mean, I think we'd been at the stage of, close relatives rather than lovers or married couple for you. We weren't married, we never married. But anyway, he fell quite ill. And he really was first off, he thought he just swallowed something, couldn't swallow. Turned out he had esophageal cancer. And they gave him, by the time the doctors found it, they couldn't operate. He had a dicky heart. They couldn't operate. They gave him some chemotherapy. He couldn't tolerate that. They gave him radiotherapy and it didn't really help much. And one of the reasons why I am so spittingly vicious with some of the people peddling pseudoscience on here is he was a man, he desperately wanted to live. He was terrified of hospitals. He was so scared of hospitals. All the rubbish that he'd been fed by the right-wing pipeline over the years. He'd never liked hospitals, even when I first met him. He hated them. I mean, hated them, was terrified of them. But I had a cancer treatment, 25, 30 years ago that I persuaded him to get. But when this went down, because he was so scared the whole time and so nervous and so distrusting, because all this shit that comes out on the internet, could he have been saved had he got earlier treatment? The answer to that is I don't know. I can never know. I will never know. But what I do know was watching somebody who desperately wanted to live falling prey to, if I drink lemon peel boiled with olive oil rubbish, it makes me evil. I could do physical harm to people. And then about a year ago, they had a look and they said, no, we can't really do any more, I'm afraid. We're going to send you home and look after you until you die. They didn't at that point think he was going to live terribly long. And as it turned out, he managed another 9 months. And he was 1 minute he was up pottering around. He was very ill. Please don't think he was a well man. He was a very, very ill man, and he was skeletally thin. And he hadn't been out his flat in months upon months upon months. He just couldn't get out. However, he was still up on his pins, and he'd toddled off to make a cup of tea, and he was toddling around, and our eldest son was living with him to provide him with some degree of care. And I was due to go somewhere for a couple of nights, so I went in, and I said, I'll see you in a couple of days. And he said, I'm a bit tired now. So I'm like, well, you put your head down, sweetheart, have a sleep, and I'll see you in a couple of days. And I think he put his head down and died. We all knew it was coming. It wasn't unexpected. He knew he was dying. I knew. Everyone knew he was dying. It wasn't a great shock. And people die. It's fine. It's okay. Like I said, what does it? But that is what's behind my real ire for the pseudoscientific rubbish. Because offering false hope to a dying man, I could do physical harm to those people.